All right, today we are diving into one of the most confusing, most frustrating parts of modern dating, the relationship that isn't a relationship. We're going to explore a really powerful way to get clear, and it's all based on one simple idea: choosing your reality.
You know the situation, right? It's incredibly common and honestly pretty painful. You get the time, the attention, the intimacy, the connection. I mean, it feels like a real relationship in every single way, except for one thing. When it comes to an actual commitment, a title, a clear yes, you get crickets. So what on earth are you supposed to do?
So to really get a grip on this, we're going to look at a real-life case study. There's a woman named Sabina who found herself in this exact spot, and her story just perfectly illustrates the challenge at the heart of this whole commitment conundrum.
I mean, just look at all these conflicting signals. They've been together for 6 months. He's attentive, he's intimate. He even gets a little possessive, asking if she's seeing other guys. But at the same time, he's got this messy divorce going on, and he uses that as the reason he won't call it a relationship. He says he's just not ready. It's the perfect recipe for confusion.
And all this confusion, it leads us straight into the first major pitfall, a mental trap that keeps so many of us completely stuck. We stop looking at our own situation, and instead, we get lost trying to make sense of his.
And that right there is the heart of the problem. We basically become detectives. We're trying to figure out if his reasons are legit. Is he right? Am I the one being unreasonable here? Maybe I should be more understanding. We start debating his logic inside our own heads, and while we're doing that, we completely lose sight of what's actually happening to us.
So what does this trap actually look like in practice? Well, it's those classic lines. He says stuff like, "My divorce is really complicated," which, sounds pretty rational. Or, "My ex is going to cause problems if she finds out." And that seems reasonable too. It's just bad timing. They all sound so plausible, and so we get stuck spinning our wheels, just trying to decide if his reasons are good enough. Okay, but here's the radical idea that just cuts through all of that noise. Whether his reasons are 100% real or just a convenient excuse, it simply doesn't matter. It's not your job to investigate how legitimate his claims are. Your only job is to protect yourself and your time.
So, the real key here is to shift our focus away from his logic and onto a much more powerful framework. It's one that builds a clear path forward by separating his reasons from your reality.
Okay, let's break this down. Take a look at this. On the left, you've got his reasons. Those are his problems, his logic, his timing. But on the right, you have your reality. And these are just the simple, objective facts of your life. So he might say, "I'm going through a divorce." Your reality is, "We've been dating for 6 months." He says, "It's bad timing." Your reality is, "I'm 36 and I want something serious." See, his reasons don't change the facts on the ground for you.
And this is probably the single most empowering sentence you can adopt in these situations. It's not an attack, it's not aggressive at all, it's just a simple statement of fact. It's saying, hey, whatever you're going through is valid for you, but it doesn't change the fundamental reality of what I'm experiencing right here, right now.
Okay, so understanding that difference is step one. But now we have to actually do something. And that requires a really powerful shift in mindset, something we can call the moving train mindset.
Think about it. Right now, by just waiting around for him to be ready, you are a train that's just sitting at the station. The doors are wide open, and you're basically saying, yep, we'll just wait here until you decide you're ready to go. In this scenario, you're the one absorbing all of the risk. Your life is on pause, just waiting for him. The alternative? You become the train that's already in motion. You have a destination, a serious, committed relationship, and you are moving towards it. He can choose to get on board, or he can choose to stay behind at the station. But either way, that train is leaving. And honestly, this is the only way someone feels the real consequences of their own indecision.
So how in the world do you communicate this? Well, here's a really clear 5-step script. You start with compassion, right? Acknowledge his situation. Then you state your reality, using that powerful phrase. You clearly define what you want. Then, calmly, without any anger, you announce your action. You're moving on. And finally, you leave the door just a little bit ajar, but on your terms. This puts the ball entirely in his court while you get back to living your life.
All right, so you've had the talk. What happens next? Oh, he is almost certainly going to reach out. And this is the exact moment where most people get pulled right back into the mess. But we need to redefine the classic no contact rule to handle this the right way. You know, people get so hung up on no contact, they take it way too literally, thinking it means you absolutely must ignore someone for 30 days no matter what. A much more powerful way to think about it is as a filter. The new rule isn't really about ignoring him, it's about setting a really high bar for what is actually interesting enough to deserve your time and energy.
So here's how to think about it. Any message that's just about his feelings, I miss you, I'm so confused, thinking of you, is just boring. It's emotional static that doesn't actually change your reality one bit. The only message that clears the bar, the only one that's genuinely interesting, is a message that signals a change in his decision. Now that's a conversation worth having. Everything else, it's a waste of your time.
And that is the mindset behind the filter. I know it might sound a little harsh, but it's such a crucial boundary to set. When you walk away, you are no longer responsible for managing his confusion or his sadness or his indecision. You've stopped taking on his emotional labor as your own job.
Okay, let's bring all this together with the ultimate takeaway, which involves one final, really crucial reframing of this whole situation.
You see, Sabina felt that 6 months should be enough time for him to know what he wants. But that's looking at it all wrong. The truth is, 6 months is more than enough time for you to know what you're getting. You have all the data you need. He has shown you consistently that he cannot or will not give you the commitment you want. So stop putting the ball in his court. It's been enough time for you to know.
So ultimately, it all boils down to this one question. It's the choice between passively getting lost in someone else's reasons, their justifications, and their confusion, or actively, powerfully, and unapologetically choosing the facts of your own reality. The choice, as they say, is yours.